What's up, everyone? And this is Next Level Thinking.
What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Next Level Thinking. It's your host, Chris Holmes, as always. As you know, we help you bring it to the next level. And today I have the lovely and one only
Miss Black Texas USA 2020, Sabrina Lewis.
A. So we're going to hit the grounds running. And how about you tell the audience a little bit about yourself so we can know about Miss Texas over here?
Well, I'm 29. I am the Miss Black Texas USA 2020 for the state of Texas. My platform is financial literacy. I graduated from Lamar University with a bachelor's of sociology. I'm trying to use my platform in order to educate others in regards to financial literacy, especially in the Black community. I have a passion for building our people up and practicing community economics. That's a really big thing for me.
Sounds like you're really big on like group economics and things like that.
When we work together, we do better.
Hey, that's what it's all about. And that's what it should always be, because you get so much more done when you work together. So I know you hit little points, but I want to dive a little bit deeper. So like, tell us how, what was in your mind going to college? Like, what was you like trying to major in, things like that? Because I'm trying to build like the whole story of it so that everybody gets the pieces.
My mom always says about me, Sabrina, you're always doing a lot. Like, yeah. In college, I was a bookworm. Like, my story probably doesn't make very much sense. In college, I was a bookworm. I loved the library. I was upset when they cut the hours.
Yeah, you reminded me staying late in the library at the top floor. Keep going.
It made me so happy. I mean, I love the library so much that I loved it so much that I had two really close friends in college, and that was it. I knew other people, but these were my friends, Angela and Jennifer Oyeka. She's no longer Oyeka. She got married and she has a son now. But those are my two closest friends in college. And they always, I don't want to say they always, Angelica always wanted us to go out to party. And I would be like, let me look at my study schedule. Like, literally, that was my life. That was my first 2.5 years of college. That's how I was.
She was disciplined, y'all. That's what that was about.
I was like, I was like a group mama. I was a group mama because I had this big tub with like medicine and stuff. And they would always come to me, I don't feel good. And I would hand them medicine. But nonetheless, when it came to the parties, I would literally go party and come back home and study. Like, we would stay out till 2. I would already have been studying for in college, you only go to school like maybe 2 classes a day, maybe 3 hours out of the day. I would literally work out, study for 5-6 hours, and then schedule like an hour to get dressed. And then back in that day, I didn't really do much to get ready. So it was probably like 30 minutes I would schedule. I would schedule like 30 minutes to get dressed. And then we would go out and I would let them know we're coming back home by 1. Or we're coming back home by 2.
Oh, you put your
or
foot
we're going to be
down.
back home by midnight.
Yes,
we're going to have to leave the party at 12:30 because it's a 30-minute drive to get back to the campus so we can be here by 1. So I can study from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then get up and go to the library. Or I would just go home, go to sleep, be up by 5 a.m. to get up and go to the library because I still had to get my run in. I was very, very disciplined. Now, somewhere along the way.
She said somewhere, y'all. Yeah. Keep going.
Somewhere along the way, I kind of like, I don't know, maybe it was life, maybe it was trauma. I still like to read, I still like to study, but I was not performing the same way that I did when I got into school.
Uh-oh.
So
What you do?
yeah, I was not performing the same way I did when I got into school. So I continued, of course, to go to school, but my grades were not as good. One of my friends, Angelica, she actually left Lamar. And I think that change in dynamic was odd. My freshman year, I actually won Miss African American Lamar, which Jennifer forced me to go to all these things for this pageant. I was like, I don't need to be in a pageant. I'm smart. And I remember telling her, like, I can't dance. I have no rhythm. She's Nigerian. So, like, it's just
You
impossible.
always need that person in your life where you're like, I can't do that, I can't do it. You're like, no,
I
yes,
can't
you
do that.
can. Yes,
And
you can.
she,
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's like fighting
yes,
against you.
yes, you can. Right? And so she encouraged me constantly, would drag me, come to my room. Back then, there was like, cell phones were like a thing, but they weren't a thing. So I
You know
had
you
a,
popped out that flip phone. You know, like, nah, bless
no,
it.
it was a slider. Actually, it was a
Oh, yeah, the
slider, but
slide. Oh, you, okay.
I let mine cut off. Like, I did not want my phone. I hated people having access to me all the time. So she would call me on my room phone, knock on my door nonstop until my roommate would answer the door. And then she'd be like, where's Sabrina? And she'd be like, she's in there, because my roommate was irritated by the fact that I didn't get up and answer the door. And, you know, she really encouraged me to go. And then lo and behold, I became Miss African American Lamar 2010 as a freshman. And later on, I ended up becoming student body president. I served on the Supreme Court for the student body. I served as a, oh my God, what are those? A Senate for the student body.
Oh, so now we're getting the juicy stuff. So now I can see. Now we get
Yeah,
into the politics. This is why I want to dive in. I didn't want to be
right?
like, nah, we're going to get the details. Keep on.
And so I got all these great opportunities, but I can honestly say that my education-wise, like, it wasn't that I wasn't learning, right? It wasn't that I wasn't learning, but my performance, as far as when we're looking at GPA, was not good enough for me to participate in those things, but it was not.
I'm about to borrow that.
But you know, I after college, I went to after I was done with all that, because I had a very hard experience in college, a very hard experience. I'm not gonna speak on it right now, but I had a very hard experience in college those last few years, being a student body president and being an African American female.
But
It was just
I know you're not going to dive
hard.
into it, but I will say it probably helped you grow into the person you are now because through those
Yes,
experiences.
it definitely did. I can say that. There is very little that surprises me. I got to sit in the room with a lot of money at a very young age. And back then, I could not figure out, how is this possible? I'm a little Black girl from the projects. I'm third of 9 kids. I raised about 5 to 6 of my own siblings. How is
Everybody was
this
fighting over the cornbread.
fighting, boy? I eat fast, and I know that's because of how I grew up. Miss Black Texas USA eats. Okay, I don't eat the things that I used to eat, but baby, I think you saw me throw
Cornbread
down that
head.
pizza. I know you
Yeah, I
saw me throw
did.
down that pizza. Yeah, I eat really, really fast. And I know that's probably from my upbringing of growing up with so many children. One, because I had to make all their plates and then eat. But I knew I had to eat quickly because all my time had really lapsed. And I needed to be able to clean up the kitchen, get them ready for bed, study, whatever the case may or may not have
Ooh, you
been.
reminded my upbringings because you better not leave some dirty dishes in the sink.
Who we used to get woke up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You had school the next day. And when I wake you up for the dishes, now you finna clean out the fridge, you finna do this. And so you're gonna go back to bed at like 5. And well, you might go back to bed at like 4 or 5 and gotta be up at 6. And me personally, I would get up at 3:34 anyway, because I had to get myself ready and then prepare to get all of them ready. So it was just like, yeah, nah, we don't need no dirty dishes. We fold all the towels right. You know, we still got, we would still get waking up. But
Hey.
yeah. So college was an experience for me. It taught me a lot. It gave me very tough skin. It let me know that, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. When I first left college, I felt that I had done something wrong to the world. Like, I was this really bad person for speaking up on things, saying things, how
Whoa,
I
whoa,
said
whoa,
things
whoa,
must have
whoa,
been
whoa.
wrong.
You felt bad? Wait a minute.
Yes, I felt bad.
Okay,
I
go.
didn't know at the time, but I had developed depression and anxiety.
And it's
I
through like
developed it.
those, I guess, the experience. I guess that does make sense because when you're in politics, you are around people constantly, so you're hearing like
Yeah.
everything.
And here's the gag. The gag is, it was not supposed to be a Democrat Republican type of situation. You know, it wasn't supposed to be bipartisan or anything like that. But people take something so clear to heart. Like, they took it as, she must believe in this, so now I'm going to have this attitude towards her for no apparent reason. When I'm there to represent the student body and I'm looking in the best interest of the student body, and you think everything I do is liberal, or, you know, like, you now have this mindset of me, and you don't feel that I should say certain things or do certain things that you are allowed to do, because who do I think I am?
Okay, I might have to like
You
bring it
know?
down on that because we can go all day on that one because that's like on my other podcast.
Yeah,
Three
you know, so
topics.
we're not gonna discuss that one at
Yeah,
all.
I'll just
But
bring
you
you
know,
back on the other one.
I did feel really bad. I felt really, really bad. I was trying to find myself. I joined the United States Navy, and I went away for my basic training. I joined the reserves, came back after about a year or whatnot, came back and ended up living in Houston. Had a traumatic
So hold on,
relationship.
We're gonna back a little bit. Kind of go a little bit more. No. See, this is why I'm guiding you. So you leaving a little bit of juices and stuff out there. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the experience in the reserves, because I know like everybody has a perspective and think for things. They'll be like, "Ooh, that may be a little bit too hard," but you've been in it, so go ahead and give a little bit of details on that.
Military, because I always said that I was going to join the military. And
Okay.
my mom did ROTC in college, and she was almost an officer. So I thought, this is what I need to do. This is next. This must be why things are so hard for me right now. Not taking personal responsibility on, you know, character flaws, but I don't think I would have been, I think things would have been a little bit different for me had I not been the demographic that I am. People would have tried to teach me and help me versus attack, is how I felt. But nonetheless, the military was cake. But I was one of the oldest people there. You know, it was
She put
cake.
her foot
It
down,
was
y'all.
cake.
That's what that's about.
I was an MM, which is a machinist. I am an MM. I am, because I'm still in the reserves. An MM, and that's a machinist mate. So I had a really high aptitude for math and science, which was surprising because I hated math and science.
Ain't it funny how life puts you in uncomfortable situations for your growth?
Yes, it does. It does. But I had a really high aptitude for it, and I was very, very smart. And in the sense of math and science, which I had fled from. I went to math and science technology schools when I was in elementary, junior high, and then high school. I had a choice of what school I went to, and I was not going to a math and science technology school. I mean, we built rockets when I was in elementary. We
We
built
find out
rockets.
you on the NASA, program over there.
And that's exactly what it was called. It was called our NASA space program. And we had a simulator system where you had to learn the aerodynamics of all this stuff. It was like an actual spacecraft, and you went in there and you had to learn all this stuff, and it was built for us to be in there, and it was inside of our school. And now that I think back on it, I know that a lot of children did not have that experience that I had. I was learning trigonometry and geometry. What is that? Calculus and all of that in the 6th grade. So, yeah. So my awareness.
I should have cheated on you. You see, like, hey, I got this
my
math
awareness
test.
of math. My awareness of math and science was a lot higher, and my knowledge of it was a lot higher than I ever knew. Because when I got in junior high, I would purposely try to fail courses. And I knew my teacher, it was this man. He was tall. He was a white male, broad shoulders. I remember him. Very, very tall.
No, most people try to pass. This woman over here said like she deliberately tried to. Wait a minute.
I would deliberately, because I hated math. I hated it. I felt like, and that's because I was learning things at an age that most people were not learning them. How many 6th graders do you know were learning calculus? And when are learning trigonometry? And when I'm learning these things, I'm not learning to use a calculator. They were teaching us the step-by-step processes and use the calculator like if you were taking a test only, but you had to show the process. So I would just have, and I didn't know that it was like an anxiety or self-sabotage thing. But when I took that test, they were like, oh, you have a really high aptitude for this. And I was like, no, I'm a sociology major. Shouldn't I be working with people? Like, what are you talking about? You know, like, what are you talking about?
You're like, no, I'm not. No, we're not doing this again. No.
Not gonna happen. But I had a really high aptitude. So the engineering school was not hard. I didn't graduate top of my class or anything because one, you got rewards for graduating at the top of your class. And I felt like as a reservist, why would I take that reward away from someone who's active duty? And I came in as an E3 because I had college education. You know what I'm saying? So really, honestly, there wasn't anything it could have done for me. It wasn't going to be an extra paycheck. It wasn't going to be any of that. And even if, along with the extra incentive or whatever, was upping and ranking, you had 18 and 19-year-olds coming in as E1s, making this very small amount of money, which you can Google. And this was their only opportunity to rank up quickly. And rank up meant more money. So I wasn't going to take that opportunity from anybody. I mean, I didn't get, forgive my language, we call it ass mode. I didn't get pushed back at all, you know. So, I mean, I made it through school very easily. It was a great experience. It was easy. But yeah, that's how the military.
Now we're putting all the pieces together. She's building rockets over there, about to go to the moon. All right, now we're back to Houston, y'all.
We built rockets like with what do you call it? What's that? Plywood. We got all the material to put inside of the rocket so it would take off. We did all of that. Yeah. Washington Jackson. Wichita Falls, Texas. Yeah.
Gotcha. So if we go to the moon, I'm gonna make sure I'm on the rocket with her. All right. I digress. So let's talk about you back in H-Town.
Back in H-Town, no, it was my first time living in H-Town. I'm originally from Wichita Falls, Texas, and I went to school at Lamar University. I hated it. Let me not say I hate it, because H-Town will come for you. They are prideful. I disliked H-Town because of its traffic, and so
Everybody hates the traffic
to the idea that I would never move here. That's about that traffic.
Man, we talk about rush hour traffic in Houston. It's the devil. We like forbidden. For the traffic, it must be gone.
Right? Side note story, I'll make it very quick. My first job was at a firm, and I lived the Galleria area. And
oh Lord, keep going.
Yeah, but my job wasn't far. It was literally like 6 minutes up the road, and then I moved a little bit further, and it made it about 10 minutes. It was 7 miles. It was about 10 minutes up the road, and without traffic, of course. I at first would, leave the house 30 minutes early. It would take me 25 minutes to get to work. And then one day I decided, they approved unlimited overtime. I decided that I was going to take on this overtime, and I would leave the house at 6 a.m. No, more like 5 something. Sit in the parking lot, in the garage, till like 6:30. Go into work, get my stuff together, and clock in at 7, even though my shift didn't start till 10 sometimes. Because that's how much I did not like traffic. And then I would stay for overtime after work to make sure that I missed traffic. And I want to say the office closed at like 8. And so at 8, traffic had died down. If I had to leave, I would sit in the parking lot until 8 and then drive. Because let me tell you what was happening. When there was traffic and it was too much, I'd pull over on the side of the road and go to sleep.
Wow. That's like, get this.
That was my coping mechanism, sleeping. I'm serious. Like, my mom would get so upset. She said I had road rage too. So if she knew I was driving, she would not want to talk to me when I was on the phone. She was like, "Oh, you're in the car. You're getting in the car, honey." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "I'll just call you back." I was like, "No, it's perfectly fine. Hands free. It's connected." She's like, "No, I'll call you back." She didn't want to hear me. Going on with my road rage.
She's gonna go off on you on the track. You better watch that now.
And at that job, that's where I kind of realized that I wanted to help people. The job itself was not helping people. I was basically pretty much a debt collector. And what I learned is I was a really good one too. I could talk people out of money really, really well.
Let me go ahead and bring you on some more negotiations. I'm glad you said that.
I could. And for a while, I convinced myself that it was helping people to have them take care of this. And it was. It really honestly was. But at the same time, I knew that this is not what I wanted to do. And I had been taking care of a lot of commercial accounts, which are business accounts as well. And I was like, you know what? Let me look into doing this commercial-wise. So I found a firm that was doing commercial-wise, and I went to that firm, and I worked for them. And I got that experience, really good at that too. It was even better because the money was really good. I wasn't nickel and diming it to make an extra 2 or 3 racks a month, that was the norm weekly. And I did that for a while, and then I made a decision before I left the previous job that I wanted to, and I'm not gonna say I don't know, because meditation, manifestation, all that really, really works. And when you seek purpose and understanding, opportunity is awakened. It's just, you start seeing the opportunity everywhere, but you have to be open to seeing opportunity. You have to take your blinders off. So I had decided that I wanted to increase. I had started watching YouTube videos, all this other stuff, and reading. I wanted to increase my income, decrease my expenses. Now, I was staying in a really nice condo, very nice, very, very nice. And it was about $1,200 a month. That's before utilities. I was in the Galleria. And I decided I wanted to cut it in half. And then I was going to increase my income. And I was going to leave the job that I was currently at and do something else, right? Because that job, it was more commission-based, and I wanted something that was guaranteed. So I found this job with a medical company and working in their accounts receivables. Now, this is totally new to me, working actually in accounts receivables. And I found a studio that was $600 a month. It was $540 a month. And then with utilities, I was paying $600. So I had increased my steady income, like my consistent income. I doubled it pretty much. I doubled it. And it was consistent now. So it wouldn't be one month I make this much, I was making consistent income. So I moved into the studio, and that's when financial literacy really took a hold of my life. And I started figuring out ways to constantly save, cut expenses, checking on this, checking on that. And there would be situations where people are like, well, how can you do that when, you didn't even work how can you afford to take up? I'm good. Started learning how to, pull in some side income, the smallest of ways. Now, mind you, at this time, I had gotten rid of my car. That's how much I hated Houston traffic. I had gotten rid of my car
Damn.
because I worked so close to, I was very strategic. I worked very close to my home. So my home was 7 miles away. So even if I didn't have a car or I decided not to drive, I could catch an Uber or I could catch the bus or I could walk because I ran 6 miles like twice a week anyway at that time. So yeah, I moved, found it in the same neighborhood, but now this new job was about 10 miles away. So I caught the bus there and I was just very strategic. And on the bus, I could read. It would give me time to read. When I tell you I soaked up so much information, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. What is that other book? Think and Grow Rich. What else do I have?
She's dropping knowledge over
I'm
here,
looking at my
y'all.
book. Lead Yourself First, A Beginner's Day Trading, A Beginner's Guide to Day Trading, How to Win and Influence People and Friends by Dale Carnegie.
She got a whole
The 48
library
Laws
over
of
there.
Wait
a minute, you got
y'all,
48
I'm
laws?
telling you.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to talk now. She over here reading
Yeah.
all them.
Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. That was actually one of like my first books. Ooh, what else? Just articles on financial literacy. Like I would print the articles out, read them, and then be done with it. Then I decided that I was going, look, I'm taking y'all down my resume. And then I decided, okay, I'm tired of spending money on, the job was giving me problems. They were giving me problems. I was making them a lot of money, but they were giving me problems. They were not treating me right or fair. So
And
I
she
ended
was
up
like,
quitting.
she put her foot down. She was like, "No, I ain't gonna take no more of this."
Yeah, my mental health is so much more important than that. It got really bad. I was in the hospital. When I walked in, the doctor told me, and this is health disparities for Black women. It's just sick. He told me only white men who are CEOs come in here with this type of stress. What could you possibly be doing? I was like, I work in accounts receivables. And he was like, you should just go be a barista. And I just looked at him. I was like, I don't have Bartista bills, which my bills weren't even high because I had decreased my expenses, but that's none of your business. Treat me. Well, what would you do for those white males is what I should have said. But we don't say those types of things in those type of situations. We don't think on our feet. All we know is that I was having really bad headaches. It was anxiety and stress. And my blood pressure was up and all that great stuff. So I decided I was going to find a new job and that I was going to work from home and I wasn't going to have to be around people. I manifested, found a new job, worked from home, cut off another expense because I now didn't have to pay for transportation.
It's funny how like all throughout your journey, like everything is just like stepping stones, everything. And then even when you getting rid of the car, it actually had another opportunity where now you can read more, and then you manifest. It's like you basically in control of your life.
Yes. And then I bought a car. I don't know why I bought a car because I didn't really need a car. But a really close friend of mine, he was like, you need a car. And I was like, okay. He's like, he's going to go buy a car. I was like, okay, what are you going to do with your old car? He's like, I don't know. I think I'm going to sell it. I was like, well, how much do you want for it? He threw out a number. I said, no, that's too high for that car. I'm not stupid. My father's a mechanic. I said it nicer than that. But he was like, well, how about this amount? I said, oh, okay. He was like, well, we can put you on a payment plan. I was like, no, I'll go get it cash. He's like, you have that cash? I was like, well, yeah, I can get that, pull that cash.
I wish I could see his face. He was like, you have the cash.
No, because it was like, I don't know. He was like, I don't want to put you in a bind, blase. He was very, very helpful. Great person. Amazing person. And I was like, no, it's okay. I got it. Now, the bank wouldn't let me take all that money out of the ATM at one time, so I had to pay him some one day, some the next day. It was just Navy Federal. They wouldn't let me take all that money out the ATM.
Wait a minute. Who's bank over here in control? No, I ain't gonna do it. I'm leaving.
No, it was like you can only take this amount out at a time. And I was like, from the ATM. So I was like, okay. And at that time, they didn't have a Navy Federal in Houston.
Don't let me become like super wealthy. I'm like, I wish you would tell me I can't pull something now. You don't have a problem. I need to talk to the person over this bank.
Exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are very few banks out there that are friendly. But I ended up getting laid off from that job. I don't want to say fired. It was laid off because they couldn't afford to keep me.
Wait a minute.
I was racking in too much money. They couldn't afford to keep me. They could
You
not
just
afford to keep me.
speaking all kind of prosperity. You can't afford to keep me, so I got to go.
They laid me off. They said,
Mhm.
no, we can't afford to, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
We hired you thinking we could, but we can't. I was like, okay, cool. And since that day, I have not worked a job.
Cool. So now we got everything building up into the grand finale. Now we're going to get into how you became Miss Texas over here. Because now we have the whole story. Like, you really sound like, ooh, child, she been through enough. A lot over there. Ooh, child, you not grown. Our grandparents be like, ooh, child.
I became Miss. Okay, so my mental health was bothering me. I moved in with my sister, and I was writing a lot, just trying to figure out what's going on with me. What am I supposed to be doing? People are always coming to me for information about financial literacy. And I know I keep harping on financial literacy, but that's my purpose. And I know that it is now. But I was writing, and I have all these journals, just writing. And I had this idea that I wanted to practice community economics in the Black community and help close the racial wealth gap. And I went online because I had written out a plan on how I was going to do it. And I had went online, and I was looking to see if there was any nonprofits out there that were geared towards Black Americans and wanting to do what my plan was. And I wasn't finding anything. So while I was looking, Miss Black USA is a nonprofit organization. They were on the list with the Rainbow Coalition, NAACP, all these groups. And, I'm researching each one. And I was like, let me just click this and see what they're about. I open it up and I see what they're about. And I'm like, maybe I should apply. I might be a little too old. I'm applied anyway. Applied. And because I haven't done pageants since my freshman year in college, I was like, what the heck?
But that's how life goes. You never know. You just toss your stone. Like, you know what? If it hits, it hits. Chunk.
But I have been praying and manifesting for a public platform. Now, mind you, I did not do this thinking that it was going to fall into anything really. Maybe I learned about it, and the following year I would apply and do it in 2021. But I had been manifesting and praying and just putting all of my energy into my purpose. And that was part of the need for my purpose to be, to have a platform. So, I cast the dice, and I got a call. And I was like, hello. Didn't recognize the number.
Hello.
Hello. And she was like, hi, my name is such and such, and we see you submit an application. I was like, okay. And she was like, well, tell me a little about yourself and what you want to do. And so I'm looking at my vision board. And on my vision board, there are no pictures. It's just writing. Because I don't know exactly how things are going to look. And a lot of things, when I see them happening for me, I see me, and I see them happening with me as the entity. So there's no picture. There's no picture. The picture's in my head. So I just have to write it out. And on the board, it says clear as day. I could probably go get the board right now, but I'm not going to do that. It says clear as day, close the racial wealth gap for African Americans, practice community economics. And so she said, well, what would your platform be if you decided to do this? And I say that verbatim. And I let her know that, I have a lot of friends and family members who have wondered how I've been doing so well while not working, and, and I practice all these things. I've read a lot of things from Dave Ramsey to Dale Carnegie to Robert Kiyosaki, but I created my own way of doing things because it's different for me as a Black female. And she said, okay, well, we're going to get back to you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, okay. So I got a few more calls, a few more interviews. I didn't realize weren't interviews. And then I get an email. And it's like, we think you are the perfect candidate to be Miss Black Texas USA. And I'm like, what? So I go to my sister. I'm like, sis, read this. What's it say?
Like,
because my mental health not right. I'm like, what's it say? She's like, it says you Miss Black Texas USA. I was like, nah, something's not right. So the girl. And I'm like, read this. What's it say? And I'm just like, what? Like me? Like, what? Not that I don't think it's not that I don't think I could have won a pageant. It's just, really? Right now? God, for real?
That's what you like.
So you just gonna keep,
that's that student, but I'm like, you talking about the other person? Like, no.
I must be sleeping.
Yeah.
Let me go like that. Let me take
I was the one over here on the desk like this, and you're like, oh, Chris, what, me?
So, I became Miss Black Texas USA. Now, the road has been rocky because of coronavirus. It's been so rocky because of coronavirus. It's been hard. From getting donations, because it's like, well, my talent, a lot of things they're just hard. They're really hard. I had this really big plan of me going from city to city and, going to schools, being able to hug on children, especially little Black girls and little Black boys, being able to hug them and, show them that a Black queen is very real, especially in the state of Texas, where the climate may not be that friendly.
Bipolar. I said it for you.
Yeah, the climate is bipolar, and it's just it's been a very rocky road. I've had a lot of blessings along the way. First United Bank of Dallas has been amazing to me recently. It's like I'm getting all my breakthroughs at the when I think it's not coming. The ATS Junior Business School, it's been a blessing to me.
Ain't it funny like how all your breakthroughs happen when you're most troubled times?
I started my own, I'm starting my own nonprofit, Repair Through Reparations. We have a program called Pathways to Freedom. I was able to connect with someone by the name of Dr. Booker Drew, who handles the Texas State Fair. I'm getting teary because sometimes I think that I'm not doing enough or that enough is not happening. But I'm thinking about
how passionate you are about it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so it's just so, I don't know. It's just like everything keeps falling into place.
But that's how it's supposed to go. Like, when you are like back against the wall, but you're walking, as you keep saying over and over again, into your purpose. Like, even when it seems like it's completely dark, you're going to always find a light either way.
Mm-hmm. It's just beautiful. And I don't know how to explain it to anyone, but when you start walking in your purpose, specifically in your purpose, doing the thing that you're meant to do for others. And me personally, I'm a server. I serve others. That's why I'm here. Any way that I can serve, let me know. How can I serve you? That is all I want to do in this world, is serve others. And so when you start doing that, everything else, every stone that's supposed to be underneath your foot, every time you need a ladder to be lifted up, it comes. It comes. Now, it doesn't come if you don't get up and you don't move. Just the moving in itself with the intention in your mind. Everything it finds its way. It really does. And so that's been my journey. It's kind of hard to balance while trying to be an auntie. Because I'm that auntie. All my nieces and nephews love me. And being a sister, coming from a very big family, it's a little hard to balance. But at the same time, it's my purpose. So I think that there's and understanding provided to people, that and a peace provided to people when I can't do things or when I can't be places, that I am so grateful for. Because they're like, okay, well, we know you have to do this. And it's not a jealous, sometimes people are like, yeah, I know you got to do such and such. It's great. In the back of their mind, they're like, can't never make time for things that are important, But I don't get that feeling from people. I have people tell me not to do stuff specifically because I have Miss Black Texas USA going on.
And on that note, I'm gonna let you draft the mic. Usually I leave your last closing comments, but she already busted my whole mic. I gotta get a whole nother system. I'm getting tired.
I'm gonna be quiet now.
She just dropping off knowledge, financial. She told her whole Les Brown story. She's about to sell the whole stadium out. That's all good. That's what it's all about. Telling people to live in their prosperity, enjoy the journey, and always be a servant to others. So with all that and the great information given and the great story told by you, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So it's your host again, Chris Holmes, on Next Level Thinking, helping you take it to the next level. And I have my lovely guest, the one and only
Miss Black Texas USA 2020, Sabrina Lewis.
Awesome. So make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment below so we can keep things going, and make sure you take it to the next level. Peace and much love.
All the way.